Imagine waking up to the screech of metal grinding against asphalt, only to find your entire street sealed off like a prison yard by a gleaming iron monstrosity that screams, "Keep out" to the world. That's exactly what hit me one crisp Tuesday morning in the sleepy suburb of Oak Ridge Drive, where the American dream of quiet lawns and picket fences hides a nightmare of petty tyrants in polo shirts. And at the heart of it all was Karen Beaumont, our HOA president, whose idea of community improvement was about to turn our neighborhood into her personal fiefdom, until I decided enough was enough. I was halfway through my black coffee, the kind that burns just right to kickstart the brain, when the racket started. Clang, clang, clang. Like someone was building a medieval fortress right outside my window. I peered through the blinds, expecting maybe a utility crew fixing a pothole. But no, there it was. A hulking wrought iron gate stretching across the mouth of Oak Ridge Drive, complete with spikes on top that looked more suited to warding off zombies than welcoming the mailman. Two guys in fluorescent vests were welding it into place, sweat dripping under the California sun, while orange cones dotted the scene like warning signs for the absurdity to come. I slipped on my flip-flops, the ones with the worn-out soles from years of ignoring HOA notices about proper footwear in common areas, and shuffled out. "Hey, what's this about?" I called over the noise. One worker paused, wiping his brow. "HOA order. Turning this into a gated community. Private road now." Private road? I nearly spit out my coffee. Oak Ridge Drive had been a public street since the subdivision was slapped together in the 90s. Wide open for school buses, joggers, and the occasional lost tourist. "You sure about that?" I pressed. He shrugged, that classic not my problem shrug. "Lady who hired us said so. Name's Beaumont. Take it up with her." Oh, I would. I'd lived on this cul-de-sac for a decade, paying my dues like clockwork, keeping my yard trimmed to avoid the dreaded violation letters that Karen loved to send out like holiday cards. But I'd always stayed under the radar. No board meetings. No potlucks. Just me, my wife Lisa, and our mutt Rufus enjoying the illusion of suburban peace. That gate, though, it wasn't just ugly. It was a slap in the face, a barrier-screaming control freak. I dumped my mug in the sink and headed straight to Karen's house, which doubled as the HOA headquarters. A converted garage office decked out with filing cabinets and inspirational posters about unity that she probably printed at Kinko's. Karen answered the door in her signature outfit. Pastel blouse tucked into khakis, a string of fake pearls around her neck, and that perpetual squint like she was judging your soul. "Mr. Turner," she cooed, her voice dripping with that fake sweetness that hid a venomous bite. "I assume this is about the security enhancement?" "Security enhancement?" I pointed down the street. "You mean the eyesore that's blocking everyone in?" "Yeah, that's it. What gives you the right?" She folded her arms, lips pursing into a thin line. "The board approved it unanimously, Alex. It's for our protection. We've had suspicious vehicles lately. Delivery trucks lingering too long. Strangers walking dogs that aren't from here." "Suspicious vehicles?" I chuckled, but it came out bitter. "You mean the UPS guy who drops off your endless Amazon packages?" "Come on, Karen. Name one actual incident." She straightened, her pearls clinking like tiny warning bells. "There was that bicycle left unattended last month. Could have been a scout for burglars." "A bicycle? From the kid next door?" I shook my head. "Did you even check with the city? This road's public, tax dollars maintain it." Her smile tightened, that classic Karen tell where the politeness cracks. "The HOA has the authority to privatize for the greater good. Safety first, Mr. Turner. If you have concerns, submit them in writing." She shut the door with a soft click that felt like a mic drop, leaving me fuming on her porch. Back home, I fired up my laptop, the screen glowing in the dim kitchen as Lisa peeked over my shoulder. "What's got you all riled up?" she asked, pouring herself a cup. "Karen's playing queen again," I muttered, pulling up the county's online maps. Sure enough, Oak Ridge Drive was marked as a public thoroughfare, complete with easement records from the original developers. No HOA ownership, no private status, just cold, hard facts. I printed it all. Deeds, plats, even a history of city repairs funded by our property taxes. This is war, I said to Lisa, stacking the papers. She raised an eyebrow. You? The guy who ignores every HOA email. Yeah, me. Because sometimes, silence isn't golden. It's just letting the bullies win. I dialed the city's public works department, pacing the living room as Rufus watched with tilted head. A gruff voice answered, "Public Works. This is Mike." I laid it out, the gate, the blockage, the whole ridiculous setup. Mike laughed. A deep belly rumble. They put a gate on a city street? Without permits? That's bolder than my ex-wife's alimony demands. Send me those docs. We'll handle it. I emailed the scans, feeling a spark of satisfaction. But Karen wasn't one to back down. By evening, glossy flyers appeared in every mailbox, proclaiming the gate as a vital community safeguard against urban decay. And there, in bold print, certain residents, including Alex Turner, are spreading misinformation to jeopardize our family's well-being. Misinformation? I read it aloud to Lisa, who snorted. She's painting you as the villain. Classic. I crumpled the paper. Let her. She's just digging her own grave. The next day, the gate was complete, keypad locked, with a sign reading exclusive access, HOA members only. Neighbors whispered in driveways, but no one spoke up. Fear of fines, I guessed. I bypassed it by cutting through old Mr. Jenkins' yard, apologizing as I went. At the corner store, I overheard grumbles. A mom complaining her kid's school bus couldn't enter, an elderly couple worried about ambulance access. Back home, I started knocking on doors, folder in hand. "Hey, Mrs. Ramirez," I said to the nurse next door. "That gate screw up your shift?" She nodded, exhausted. Parked 3 blocks away, in heels. I showed her the maps. "It's illegal. Sign this if you want it gone." She did, and so did others, quiet at first. But the resentment built like a storm cloud. By Thursday, the disruptions hit peak absurdity. A pizza delivery guy stood bewildered at the gate, yelling into his phone. "Code? What code? I just got pepperoni." Kids biked in circles, trapped like hamsters. I gathered more statements. The Thompsons missed a doctor's appointment because their ride service bailed. Young Timmy down the block couldn't host his birthday party. It wasn't just inconvenient. It was dangerous, stupid, and oh so Karen. I emailed the pile to Mike at Public Works, adding, "This isn't safety. It's a siege." Noon brought the cavalry. 2 city inspectors in a pickup, tools rattling in the bed. I met them at the gate, handing over my folder like a trophy. "Alex Turner," the burly one said, flipping pages. "Mike said you got the goods." "Yep. This road's ours. City property through and through." The other measured the installation, shaking his head. "No permit, no hearing. HOA's got no say." They radioed for backup, and soon a code enforcement officer rolled up, badge shining. Neighbors peeked from windows as he marched to Karen's door. She answered with a glass of iced tea in hand, scarf draped like armor. "Can I help you, officer?" Her tone was all honey, but her eyes darted. "Regarding this illegal obstruction," he said flatly, gesturing to the gate. "It's on public land." Karen blinked, then launched into her spiel. "Officer, this is for our protection. The board deemed it necessary due to rising threats, loiterers, unsolicited solicitors." He cut her off. "Threats like what? Squirrels? You need permits for this. Provide proof of ownership in 5 days, or we tear it down." Her face flushed, but she recovered with a sniff. "The HOA charter allows for such measures. It's internal." He chuckled dryly. "Internal? Lady, this block's a public street. Cease and desist now." She slammed the door, but the damage was done. I watched from afar, a grin creeping up. The queen was cracking. That night, the street hummed with life again, porches lit, folks chatting over fences. Rufus tugged me on his walk, and I overheard snippets. Finally, someone standing up. Karen's lost it. The grip was slipping, and it felt damn good. Friday's email from the city confirmed it. Removal order drafted, fines looming. I forwarded it to the HOA listserv, Subject: time to unlock. Karen's response? A frantic all-caps reply. This is sabotage against community values. Sabotage? Pot, meat kettle. Then came the call from an unlikely ally. Vice President Gary, a mousy guy who'd nodded along at meetings like a bobblehead. Alex, you were right about the gate. I dug into the minutes, no vote, no discussion. Karen steamrolled it. His voice shook. She's been doing this for years. I leaned against the counter. Like what? Unilateral decisions, shady vendors. We need to oust her. I paused, then nodded to myself. Call an emergency meeting. Bylaws allow it. He hesitated. She'll fight. Let her. Truth's on our side. Flyers, real ones. Not Karen's propaganda hit doors by Saturday. Urgent HOA assembly, Sunday Park. No details, but the buzz was electric. Sunday rolled in hot, lawn chairs unfolding like battle lines. 30-plus residents showed. A record. Gary stood with 2 other board members, faces grim. Karen arrived late, sunglasses on, clutching her pearls. What's this nonsense? She snapped. Gary cleared his throat. We're addressing the gate fiasco. You acted alone, no vote, no consensus. Karen shot up. I protected us. From outsiders like those delivery riffraff. Murmurs rose. One board member piped up. You forged the minutes. I checked. Karen's jaw dropped. Then she laughed a shrill, defensive cackle. This is mutiny. For the greater good. I stepped forward, voice steady. Greater good? You blocked ambulances, Karen. Forged docs to steal public land. The crowd gasped as I passed out copies. Vote now. Remove her and audit everything. Hands shot up. Overwhelming yes. Karen stormed off, muttering about ungrateful peasants. Monday, city crews arrived with saws buzzing. Neighbors watched, sipping lemonade, as the gate came down piece by humiliating piece. Cheers erupted when the last panel hit the truck. Later, the preliminary audit dropped. Thousands siphoned to Karen's cousin's company. Fake invoices for phantom services. The city fined the HOA demanding reimbursements. With Gary in charge, promises of transparency flowed. But it didn't stop there. Karen's house listed for sale weeks later. Blinds drawn like she was hiding from her own shadow. Then, a detective knocked. Mr. Turner? About those financial irregularities. Over coffee on the porch, he grilled me on the invoices. Shell company, he said. No license. Funds funneled. My pulse quickened. She's embezzling? He nodded. And more. The next day, HOA accounts froze. Cops raided her place. Computers seized. Neighbors gawking. Karen bolted. Phone pinging in Arizona before going dark. Fugitive status hit by Wednesday. News crews swarmed. Headlines blaring HOA tyrant on the lam. State attorneys dug deeper. Forged signatures on land grabs, including mine, trying to annex backyards for green belts that were really grant scams. Over $60,000 pocketed. Emails revealed her plot. Target problem residents with fines to force sales. Track equities for flips. A spreadsheet of our homes like cattle at auction. Board members flipped, admitting blank checks signed under duress. One for a playground that funded her mountain cabin. The neighborhood transformed. Weekly forums, bylaw rewrites, oversight committees. Anger turned to action. I fielded calls from other suburbs. How'd you nail her? Simple. Follow the money. Trial day packed the courtroom. I testified calmly. She forged my signature to steal land. Jury deliberated fast, guilty on fraud, forgery, embezzlement. Judge thundered. You abused trust like a petty dictator. 12 years, assets seized. Outside, no parades, just quiet nods. Funds recovered. $90,000 divvied up. I planted a oak sapling where the gate stood. Fall brought new neighbors to Karen's old house. Oblivious, pie in hand. We welcomed them, the street open, barriers gone. Porches buzzed with real talk, not fear. Rufus chased squirrels freely. Yet, As I sipped evening coffee, watching trucks roll by, I wondered. In a world of HOAs gone wild, was Karen the monster, or just the symptom of a system that lets mini-dictators thrive? So, tell me, was it wrong for one quiet guy to topple the queen? Or does every neighborhood need a revolution to stay free?